I've always been a fan of Mortal Kombat games, especially the Mortal Kombat Project games, but not anymore. In fact, I hate even hearing about the game. One day I was surfing the web for some games for my emulators, and I happened to come across a game called Mortalcombat.exe. I'm not going to give out the link for the safety of you and your computer. But anyways, I thought it would be boring and dull. When I looked at the RAM it took up, it said that it took 2 gigabytes, so I thought to myself that the game would be exciting, because I'd never downloaded a Mortal Kombat game that took so much memory. So I clicked on the download link and started downloading the game. Surprisingly, it took over 4 hours for the entire game to download. But when the download finished, things started to get weird. The download box popped up, letting me know that the download was finished, so I clicked run. My laptop then burst into static and then started playing a frequently high-pitched sound. And then the laptop literally turned black. I then grunted to myself in anger, trying to turn my laptop back on. But fortunately, after a few tries, my laptop did turn back on. It was the same as it was before, except there was a new game on my desktop. I thought to myself that the laptop had probably just crashed from the large download, so I clicked on the game and started playing. But unfortunately there was no music, but the screen showed up and Goro was on the screen as well. There were the words arcade, versus, practice, options, and exit, so I clicked arcade and the Mortal Kombat 1 arcade theme burst out of my speakers violently, nearly shaking the whole house. I had muted my computer, thinking nothing of the sound, and what came up next I couldn't believe. The character selection screen came up and showing a total of 276 characters. I was utterly amazed. This was going to be the best Mortal Kombat game I had ever played. So I selected one of my favorite characters, Chameleon. The only thing was, there were 6 versions of him, so I chose the Mortal Kombat Trilogy Chameleon. Then a box popped up on the screen saying, choose stage. There was a total of 500 stages, only making the game that much better. So I chose my favorite place to fight, the Mortal Kombat 1 pit. When I selected the stage, Shao Kahn's voice said, good choice, Lane. 2 things had popped up into my head. 1, how did he know my name? And 2, how did his voice come up even though my speakers were muted? Then the loading screen came up. I had to fight Hydro, a Mortal Kombat Project character. So I started fighting and finally got to the point where Shao Kahn's voice said, finish him. Then a box popped up showing a list of names, one of my friends' names, Jordan. So I clicked Jordan just for fun. Then a box came up saying, choose fatality. A box popped up saying fatality 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and a stage fatality. I thought it was awesome that every character had 10 fatalities in the stage finisher, so I chose stage fatality. Click stage fatality, it showed my character, Chameleon, uppercutting Hydro, causing him to fall into the pit spikes at the bottom. When he hit the ground, very realistic blood shot out of him as he screamed in agony, but Hydro's scream nearly broke my speakers that it was so loud. I was angry that I kept hearing these noises from the game, as I had muted my computer, and I was confused as to why the noises were so loud. Then the words, Chameleon wins, fatality, came up on the screen, but there was no Shao Kahn saying the name fatality. But then, Shao Kahn's voice came up, saying, you'll never win, Lane, and I mean loud. Then a bunch of pop-ups saying Mortalcombat.exe is not responding came up, crashing my laptop. I was frightened. I desperately tried to turn my laptop back on, but it wouldn't come on. I thought it must have been a virus. Angrily, I put my laptop up, thinking to myself that I could try to fix it in the morning, since I'm good with computers. I then went to bed, trying to sleep, but I still had thoughts of why the game knew my name. I woke to a ringing noise. It was my iPhone. I looked at my phone to check what time it is, 2:30 in the morning. I then answered my phone to hear my friend's mom crying. I asked her to tell me what was wrong and what siren sound was in the background. She told me that the police and ambulance had arrived at their house and that Jordan was dead. He had several large holes in his body. I bolted downstairs trying to turn on my laptop, but then a message box said, thank you for playing, Lane, but I told you, you'll never win. I was screaming and crying in horror and despair, as several messages popped up saying, never. Then the worst thing ever had happened. A bunch of pictures of dead adults, children, and babies popped up on the screen. Then a message box said, look at him. Then a picture of my friend Jordan was shown. His eyes gouged out, and his intestines were laying on the floor. He also had several large, gory holes in his body. The screen went black, and the Mortal Kombat font saying, Lane wins, fatality, had shown on the screen, but then it went black. It has been 4 months since the incident, and I am traumatized by it, just like anyone else would be. The police found the man who killed Jordan. Oddly enough, He's the creator of the game I downloaded. Yesterday I was flipping through the channels on my TV, and I saw Jordan's Killer in the Court on TV show. I had to watch it. After about 5 minutes, the judge had asked him what he would say before he was sentenced to death. He responded by looking at the camera, saying, "Lane, you will never win," while violently laughing off as the bailiff carried him away to prison.